So this is our rust removal through electrolysis setup. I watched a few videos on YouTube and everybody uses smaller application for doing small parts and bolts. So I wanted to try something bigger for doing car body panels and bigger stuff. So what I've done is picked up a bunch of these 200 and I think 25-gallon drums. You can pick them up for about $35 to $50 a piece. People are getting rid of them all the time. Got one there and got a few there I'm using for scrap metal and stuff. So what I've done is just cut the top off, and I'm filling it with water right now. And I went around and drilled holes so that I can wrap wire around probably some 3/4 inch rebar for the anodes. So once this gets filled up, and I put some electrolyte solution in it using sodium carbonate or the soda crystals for your washing, I will come back and we'll fire it up, put a car charger on it, and see how it works with some bigger stuff. And I think I'm going to build a wire or steel basket, a large basket that will hang inside of there that I can throw a bunch of small parts in as well. So we'll be back. Okay, for the basket to dip into the tank, I actually went to Home Depot and bought some rebar. I believe it was 9 pieces of 10-foot rebar, and cut them into 27-inch by 27-inch cube pieces, because I had this metal lath from doing masonry or some stonework. This stuff you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's too. It's 27 inches wide, so I made the cube 27 so that I wouldn't have to trim it down, so it just fit right in there. So and I got the support bars up there so they'll hang on the 2 sides of the tank, and the whole thing will be grounded to all the metal parts in it. So this might be a little extreme for some people, but you could build a metal basket out of really just that mesh without having to weld this stuff up, but mine's more permanent for doing pieces down the road. So I welded this up, and the mesh fits right down in there. So I just kind of shoved it down in there and then just creased it with my foot, and then wrapped it over this top edge. And I'm just going to trim it off and use some wire ties, some steel wire ties to secure it. And then I'm going to put one more piece in. This piece here is going to go in the opposite direction, so it'll have a double layer floor. And then I'll wrap it up over these sides here, so I'll have a solid mesh basket. So we'll see what it looks like when it's done. Alright, here's our completed tub. I found a piece of plywood laying around, so I built a lid for it. And some extra wire I had laying around. I actually ran pieces of some 10 gauge copper wire, some Romex I had laying around, stripped it and used those and tied each one of the anodes with the wire. So I've got a total of 7. I was going to do 8, but that valve, the drain valve at the bottom, got in the way. So I didn't bother cutting a shorter piece. I'll just try it with 7. But I tied the wire nutted them all the way around. See my lid here. More spare parts I found laying around. With the basket in there, it doesn't shut all the way, but when the basket's not in there, it will keep things out so they don't fall in and drown. And I ran them over here in a loop all the way around to the last one up here in the corner, where the positive lead, where we'll hook our positive terminal for the battery wire. And then I'll just clip the negative right on the frame here for the basket. So the basket's down in there, it's in the water. We'll pull it out here and mix in our electrolyte solution. Which I went to Home Depot and picked up this large pail of, looks like OxyClean Arm & Hammer. Sodium carbonate is the main ingredient we're looking for, and it has that in it, plus it looks like some phosphorus and non-ionic surfactants, whatever that is. But I watched, or actually Googled a couple forums where people have used OxyClean and Arm & Hammer, so this should work pretty good. So it came out to 250 gallons. I don't know if you can see that. 250 gallons of water. So 1 tablespoon per gallon. So I'll have to do the conversion. I think it's like about 15 or 16 cups of this stuff. So I'll measure that up and get it mixed in there, and then we'll pick up from there.